On a small island in one of Southeast Asia's busiest economic and technological hubs sits the Archdiocese of Singapore. The Archdiocese is home to 300,000 registered Catholics. However, only 100,000 of them are considered active or regularly attend Sunday Mass. In the midst of this fast-paced, work-driven, globalist and politically centrist environment, we find the extraordinary formed community of Singapore, the home of the traditional Latin Mass in the region, a little flower growing in the crack, hidden in the shadows of a sprawling secular metropolis. This parish, St. Joseph's Church, Victoria Street, has been the home of the traditional community since 2013, when Archbishop William Goh was first elevated to the episcopacy by Pope Benedict. Before then, the community had been underground, operating in chapels and house churches. After battling years of bad press, fringe elements and overzealous members, the support of Pope Benedict saw a renewed interest and growth in the community, bringing waves of new members who have grown the community into what it is today. As it stands, the community is home to roughly 300 members, including lots of youths, young adults, and young families with children. There is also a group of priests and religious who have sprung from our ranks, who come and go and visit occasionally. And the whole group is helmed by our longtime chaplain, Father Augustine Tay. The community had to move out of the parish temporarily when the roof of the sacred space almost came down due to maintenance issues. During the renovation period, we were generously housed by the Carmelite friars at St. Peter and Paul's Church nearby. While there, we were helped and guided by Father Ferdinand Pernomo, who agreed to learn the Latin Mass and continues to shepherd the community today. Alongside the two priests are an array of former altar servers turned priests, a mix of Carmelites, a Dominican, an FSSP priest, and some other tradition-curious members from around the diocese. To get a sense of the community and how it is growing, we spoke to some of our members on the ground.
I think I was very pleasantly surprised to find the lovely people that I've met here, albeit maybe some are a bit more introverted and therefore a bit more shy and can initially come across as not too friendly, but actually they're well-meaning people and really lovely people who are trying their best to grow in the faith and pursue life of holiness.
I think we've been very successful. We have our local bishops backing to some extent. After COVID, we did manage to, I suppose, regrow back to size. And socially, in the last year and a half, I think we've grown tremendously. I mean, as you can see, we have overtaken this coffee shop.
It seems like it's growing. I think that's a great thing because the solemnity and the tradition of the TLM is really attracting much more younger people, myself included. I joined 2 years ago, and even my wife, who was not Catholic, is now Catholic also because I think she really grew into the TLM and what it means really. So I think that speaks for itself.
I think there's a decent crowd of youths who attend TLM on Sundays at St. Joseph Church. It was quite heartening to see them exploring the faith.
I think it's quite good compared to before. More people, especially young people, come more often. Yeah, so I think that's kind of good.
Specifically, actually, I've really benefited from the community here. There are a lot of young people and young families especially. As you can see, I have my little one here, right, who is just about 5 months old, and I think it's been very helpful for my wife and I to learn from the other young parents within the community itself. I think it's also been very good that we are able to go for a mass that is not so overstimulating for him, and we are able to attend and be present at mass.
I think the community is strong. We started practicing here 2 years ago. There's committed clergy, committed lay people, and there's a strong desire to maintain and uphold the traditions. And so I think it's attractive from an evangelization point of view, and certainly it's resonating throughout our family. So.
For me, as a youth, I like to see tradition, and I've been bringing more of my friends to TLM as well. So I think the outreach is growing steadily.
I guess it's just the prayerful atmosphere, because it's just the environment that is just more conducive.
I think it's pretty good. The community is nice, and I think it's easy, to fit in here and to be welcomed here.
And we have many youth. Like for example, our community is good. Like every week after mass, we have a lot of community at the coffee shop.
I think it's doing pretty well. We've got young people joining. We've got, and some of them get married within the community and have kids, and the kids are like play together, stuff like that. So there's like kind of like a budding sense of community. Logistically, things seem to be working fine. Like we have mass every Sunday. There's the weekday mass at Father Tay's house. There's no shortage. The availability is there. I think we're doing pretty well.
The traditional mass in Singapore has a very bright outlook at the moment, flourishing in the heart of the city, with some things standing out more than others.
In terms of the bright spots, it's good to see that they are interested to find out more, and there's actually a community that supports that.
One of the big things I initially would notice is really there's this correlation between the TLM and bright and cheerful families, large families that are definitely open to life, and you can see that through the sheer size of their families. And I guess it really brings through the point that the church without Christ is a dying church. The church is ever new and renewed in the TLM. Amidst the silence and reverence, you'll hear little cries or two, but it's not distracting to people so much. Everyone is really focused and oriented towards the holy sacrifice of the Mass. Lovely place, made a lot of good friends, and people I want to continue journeying with in this journey of faith.
We have a lot of young seminarians who are interested in traditional things. They do come to Mass from time to time incognito. We have a lot of young people, as you can see, and I think a lot of the kids might be discerning vocations as well. So that's always good. And the fact that we can do this weekly, and I think we are the only country in Asia, we're not a society of St. Pius X parish, but we have weekly Latin Mass, and that is wonderful.
However, all of this exists on a knife's edge. The dark reality that the community has to frequently contend with is the fact that we are but one prelate away from censure. In this matter, the community is truly living in the Lord's providence. Cardinal William Goh has been a constant voice, protecting and allowing the traditional Latin Mass to continue to flourish, working with the community to live in harmony, and by his own decree ensures that we have a home for Sunday Mass every week. But this means that the community is sitting on a ticking time bomb. When the Cardinal is of age to retire, if accepted by the Pope, his likely successors are unlikely to be as supportive or even possibly hostile to tradition.
More difficult things are dealing with some of the other clergy. So while the bishop has given us his approval, but I think a lot of the senior clergy are not so accepting, and they're hoping that Traditionis Custodes would be applied on us in the strictest fashion possible. In spite of these limitations, I think we've grown quite well, and we are still growing.
I feel that the current state of things, we're kind of on maintenance / a mode where we're just trying to keep afloat, because we're more prudent and careful and just trying our best to be at peace with everyone.
We've had a couple of issues with the wider diocese. There's historically been a bit of indifference from the diocese. I know that some priests are not so happy about our existence and feel like trads have a problem, things like that. But I think generally people are indifferent or don't really know or care about our existence. I hope that there can be more openness and more open dialogue between us and the wider diocese. I try to explain our point of view, trying to help people understand why we find this liturgy appealing, how it brings us closer to God. I think it has to be on both sides, right? Like the wider diocese has to be willing to listen. We have to be willing to share. We have to be willing to put our best foot forward. There's always been this fear that there will be something from on high coming down to shut down the community. I think that has made it very difficult for us to share about the TLM, why I find it meaningful, why I come here. I think that's something that maybe we need to move past, because the bishop has shown quite a few times that he has our back, even in the face of people trying to cause problems for us.
Various other priests viewed the extraordinary form community with disdain or as a threat, despite the fact that their own numbers remain relatively unaffected by our presence here. Even the parish priest at St. Joseph's has limited the community to only having Sunday Masses and nothing more on the church grounds. This has forced devotional and non-mass parts of the liturgical year to be held at homes or other parishes if permission is obtained, with even extraordinary form weddings being disallowed in our home parish in 2025. But what does the community hope for going forward?
I feel that in the future it will be nice if the climate of things change, and then we can be a bit more proactive in reaching out to others and to share with them this lovely place that we have, and to also invite more people here and let them have a glimpse of what they perhaps have been, I guess they have missed out in, perhaps in their life as a Catholic.
I wish that more people would come and experience the very nice and contemplative liturgy, as well as more collaboration between ourselves and the diocesan priests also to come and take a look before jumping to conclusions or making their own judgments about the people here, right? Even though, yes, we may have our differences, I believe a lot of the people here are very lovely and God-fearing, and I wish more people would be able to see and experience that too.
I would like to see, well, the first thing would be the vanquishment of traditionis custodes for more charitable and generous means of expressing our faith in the traditional way. I like to see priests in other parishes who want to say the Mass in public be able to do so. I'd like to see an expansion of the Latin Mass out of sort of like a niche interest group into something that people can come and see freely.
I think it will be a bridge between people who attend the Novus Ordo as well as the TLM, so that they can come and see what the Mass is like in the past and perhaps experience it for themselves. And yeah, to see that there's quite a nice, friendly bunch of young families as well as also older attendees who come.
Hope springs eternal, and the flower in the crack continues to grow quietly, and one can only wonder what is next. Many ask, dare we hope that Traditionis Custodes will be rescinded? And even if it is, what will become of this community in 7 years in the face of a new prelate? Only time will tell. Keep us in your prayers, and God bless us everyone.